When I'm able to drive a gas gun and get sub-MOA accuracy out of it at all these distances, I'm impressed. Today on Precision Rifle Network, we're going to be reviewing the new 6mm ARC or ARC cartridge. I've got the Hornady 108 grain ELDMs there that I'm going to be shooting through these two guns built by GA Precision. So I've got a bolt action chambered in the 6mm ARC, and this is completely GA Precision built. And then I've got a gas gun that of course comes from GA Precision, but there's like with a Seekins collaboration there. Both of these chambered in 6mm ARC. And what I really want to do is just get them on paper, and then I've got 600 yards to deal with today. So not a true representation of the cartridge's ability to stretch out at longer range, but I think it will be good enough to give you an idea, at least from my opinion, what this new cartridge is like through a bolt action and through a gas gun. So I'll base my bolt action opinion off of similar cartridges in that 6mm vein, you know, the Dasher and the Creedmoor and things like that that would take a similar bullet. And then with the gas gun, there's not a whole lot that comes close, you know what I mean? You've got the 6.5 Creeds and the 308s and the 243s, obviously 6mm, that can go through these guns. But typically, those are just higher recoil, I guess, is what I'm going for. And I think that the 6mm ARC is going to have less recoil overall, and it's going to have the same or better ballistic qualities. And I think that we're going to get some real reliability out of these guns. And so that's the claims when it comes to the gas guns. So really, it's about the 6mm ARC today. But I get to shoot them through GA Precision rifles, which I don't get to do very often, so this is kind of a treat for me. I live in Missouri, and GA Precision is just a couple hours away over in Kansas City, but I don't know why it's never crossed my mind to ask those guys for a review rifle. It just never has, and that's, you know, I should have done that because they're very generous, they're good folks, they support Precision Rifle Series and all things precision rifle and long range. A huge shout out and thank you to George Gardner of GA Precision for loaning me the bolt action and the gas gun for today's video. So I know somebody's going to ask about the magazine, so I'll pause right here. There is a spacer in the back of this magazine to move the bullets forward a little bit. You know, we're looking at a Wildcat, right? A short little guy. And so if you left that spacer out with full length AICS type mag or whatever it is, accurate mag or anything else, it may, you know, nosedive or do some other weirdness. So it's got the spacer in the back to effectively shorten that and still work out of one of these standard size mags. Again, this is just on paper at 100 yards. Right out through the window here, we'll see what we get. Yep, I pulled the crap out of that one. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and switch to the AR and do the same thing, just a 5-round group down there initially to kind of just figure out where my zero is. Again, I'm not real interested in making any kind of statements on the accuracy of these bolt guns. With me, at a bench, not prone, new rifles that I've never shot before, excuses. The bolt action, from what I can see, even with my one called Flyer, is shooting sub-MOA, and so for what I'm doing here today, that's going to be good. I would expect roughly the same results out of the AR, but I wanted to say to you guys that the magazines are 6.5 Grendel, so they fit in there nicely. You know, it's built off of your standard small frame or AR-15 lower. So I'm going to get 5 more rounds in here and see what we get. Holy crap, short reset on this trigger. My goodness. Alright, so I am going to do that again. I am stringing horizontally those shots because the rear of the gun is moving on my bag. So I'm going to get a different rear bag and I'm going to do that again. The gun will shoot. I tell you what, I'm assuming he's got a Trigger Tech AR type trigger in here. I didn't look. That trigger is amazing for an AR. Actually scary good. I was not expecting that. Okay, happy with that. That looks like a sub-MOA group out of the AR down there at 100 yards as well. This one appears to be actually maybe a 10th high. I'll just adjust for that in my data. We're gonna run them, see how they go, guys. All right, guys, Kestrel's calling for 1.2 out there at 300 yards. So again, I'm gonna put a group down there based on what the boxed velocity stated is, and then we're gonna measure how far off it is down there. We're gonna make the correction in the Kestrel, and then I'll have a more true muzzle velocity for you for this particular box and lot of ammunition. So that's what we're doing. Let's come up 1.2. Forgot to check wind. Shouldn't be much down there. About 2/10. We got about a 6 mile an hour wind from our 730. So we're looking at about 2/10 of wind down there. I wish you guys could see what I can see. I'm gonna have to get one of those trigger tam things pretty soon. That's a good group down there at 300 yards. Dead nuts on the water line. The drop data is perfect, at least at 300 yards, at least for our initial validation. We may do this again at 600 yards to more perfectly true it, but for right now, the stated 2750 from the box was dead nuts on at 300 yards. This thing shoots, guys. It's a really nice gun. All right, guys, we're switching back to the bolt action now. These barrels are 4 or so inches different length, so obviously there's going to be a little more velocity than what is stated on the box coming out of this bolt action barrel. Again, this stuff was designed off of that 6 Grendel necked down cartridge, so it more perfectly fits with an AR platform. The bolt action is a little bit of a deviation from that, so we're going to have to work with that a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and get our initial group down there at 300 yards. I expect it to hit a tiny bit high based on the same numbers as the gas gun, so we're just gonna see what we get. All right, so actually at 300 yards, we were right on top of the AR down there. So I had to show you guys this too. Hopefully the wind noise is not too bad. You can see this is like 9 rounds at 300 yards. You can see the faint water line all the way across here that I had painted on earlier. And then all these other things are just chips. Those are just chips where this kind of came off, and you can see those striations, those stripes. So this is all just chipping, and there's probably 9 rounds right there inside of 2 inches from the gas gun and the bolt gun, both here at 300 yards. So that's what we're talking about when we say that drop data hits on the water line. That's that represents really well for both those firearms and that ammunition. No difference in the drop data, at least at 300 yards. I know this has got to be moving slightly faster, but it's not affecting us at all down there at 300. I'm assuming we'll see some change at 6. So I'm going to go ahead and go straight out to 6 with the bolt action right now and see what we get. Calling for 4 even, 4 mils even at 600 yards. Just going to hold left edge. We'll see what we get. My goodness, that thing is like butter. Wow. I wish that I could convey the feeling of a high-end precision bolt action that's been built by professionals. I wish I could convey that feel to you, but it just doesn't compare to anything that you buy in a big box store over the counter. It just doesn't even come close. This thing drilled right out there on the water line at 600 yards, dead nuts in the middle of the target. I mean, I can't tell from where my paint line is where the group is. So it is a tiny little group at 600 yards, perfect elevation drop. So I guess I thought we'd be hitting a little bit high based on the longer barrel length, but we're looking really good out there. And so the 2750 feet per second stated on the box is true on this ammo out of both of these rifles, at least on the bolt action out to 600 yards and to 300 yards with the gas gun. I'm going to switch back to the gas gun now and put that one on target at 600 and see what we get. And again, for the gas gun, now we're using the same drop data, so it's calling for 4. And on the bolt action, 4 mils to 600 was perfect with this velocity coming out of here. So we're going to try it on the gas gun, see what we get. All right, so what you couldn't see there as I cut the video to save your time, the last round didn't feed all the way in, so I had to break my connection to the rifle and rack it into the round to rack another round in. So that shot ended up being a little bit low and further right of the other ones. The first 2 shots were right on top of where the bolt action was. So I'm going to go ahead and just confirm that out of both of these rifles, gas gun or bolt action for the 6mm arc, the Hornady 108 grain ELDM factory match ammo, the stated muzzle velocity was 2750. I am finding that that is right on out here in the field, so that's impressive. And just to kind of give you what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling, I feel like I'm yelling, and I am because I've got my hearing protection on. So what I'm feeling out of this gas gun, guys, is very light recoil. This feels like a 5.56. In fact, you know, if you're running a 5.56 and it's a lightweight 5.56, that 5.56 probably has more recoil than this. This is a heavy, you know, 6mm ARC. It's basically a 6.5 Grendel if you've ever shot that. This neck down, it's got a little more punch and a little better bullet. We're having no trouble pounding these targets out here. Amazing trigger, super smooth on the feel of this rifle. I'm very impressed with what I'm feeling in my shoulder. Very easy to stay on target, spot misses and impacts, things like that. The bolt action is fabulous. I can't explain to you how smooth and nice that GA Precision rifle is. This is why guys spend, you know, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 on their custom precision rifle setups from these high-end manufacturers like GA Precision, because they are just smooth as butter. They shoot so well. And so I can't say enough good things about GA Precision. They obviously let me borrow the rifles. I am under no obligation to give these rifles a rave review for any reason. You know what I mean? And so the fact that I'm saying nice things about these rifles is because I believe these are fine weapons. The 6mm so far is all the things they've been saying it is, right? It's built for the AR platform. It tames recoil. It's got better ballistics than the 6.5 Grendel. It's lighter recoiling and more reliable than the other 6mm, like the 6mm Creedmoor or 6.5 Creedmoor or 308 that all require large frame ARs. So here you've got a small frame, standard AR-15, takes 6.5 Grendel mags, and you've got some serious long-range punch out of this gun with very smooth, light recoil. So far, I'm very impressed. And the accuracy out of gas gun, when I'm able to drive a gas gun and get sub-MOA accuracy out of it at all these distances, I'm impressed. And so I will tell you, I'm impressed. The bolt action, I expected that thing to shoot like a dream coming from GA. Guys, I don't know what else to say with this video. This is really all I wanted to do, is give you an initial look at the 6mm arc. I do also have a CMMG Resolute chambered in the 6mm ARC that I'm going to be doing a review on. That's more of a review of that rifle and cartridge together. So that's coming up, and I'm looking forward to it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video today. Make sure to subscribe for me. Share the video. Leave me some comments. I love reading those. And tune in again soon for another great video from Precision Rifle Network.